Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're asking the question, is there a one destination visa scheme being created for Asean? Now, Asean in my mind, I should say Asean visas in my mind, I think of the so-called travel bubble scheme when I think of this. And what was the travel bubble? All during the pandemic, all during the emergency decree, they kept talking about, oh, we're going to set up travel bubbles where certain countries will have a corridor into Thailand where they don't have to go through all the draconian and now we know completely unnecessary public, quote unquote, public health protocols that were necessary at that time to enter Thailand. The reason I liken it to that was these travel bubbles never came to fruition. I talked about it a lot because the press talked about it a lot and they just never happened. An ASEAN visa has been similar to that. It's just been like that over the course of at least a decade that I can recall, and I think it's been more like a dozen years I've been hearing about a possible unified ASEAN visa. And I still think it's relatively unlikely for a variety of different reasons. Most notably, it would require the harmonization of a number of different immigration apparatuses. And unlike other things like business or tax, harmonizing immigration policy, I think it's virtually impossible without creating something akin to the EU where it's almost one country in all but name. And I don't think ASEAN's ever going to get to that point. That said, I could see them creating some kind of visa, not unlike the so-called APEC card, where, yes, each country could issue one, and then the other countries would recognize it. Maybe that could be a possible viable option. Again, there are multiple ways it could be done, but up to now, and again, they're talking about it again, I'll get into that here in a minute, but up to now, we haven't actually seen this come to fruition. So that's worth pointing out. That said, I thought of making this video after reading a recent article from the Bangkok Post, bangkokpost.com. Article is titled 200 More Immigration Officers to Help Over Chinese New Year. And the thrust of that article goes a very different direction. I urge those watching this video, go check out that article in detail. I'm going to quote this one excerpt for purposes of this video, quoting directly. A new, quote, one destination, unquote, scheme, a collaborative policy proposed by Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin during a recent ASEAN meeting would allow tourists to travel to any country in the region, adding more economic value and spurring tourism. Yeah, I don't think anybody argues with that. A sort of pan-ASEAN or at least pan-mainland Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Thailand, even Malaysia visa, sort of one unified visa for all those places, or at least a visa, again, akin to the APEC card, where all of the jurisdictions will recognize it, if only maybe for a short period of time, like a 90-day visa that allows you entry into any one of those or all of those countries during a 90-day period. I could see where that could be beneficial. Again, as I brought up earlier in this video, this has been something they've talked about for a long time. So what I would say is don't hold your breath on seeing this actually come to fruition quickly, but I do think it's very possible it could happen. It may take some time, but ultimately we may see an actual sort of pan-ASEAN visa promulgated here in Southeast Asia.